Hey, shalom everyone, this is Chris Shoemaker, also known as Yehuda Ben Shomer, and I'm here at another construction site with Nick the New Yorker. It's been a while since I talked to my buddy from New York, but it's eerily quiet. I don't hear any jackhammers or any, backhoes or any beeping of dump trucks backing up, so...
No, we're at a different site, Chris. Good to see you back.
Yeah, thanks.
Good to see you back. Yeah, we're doing, the other job's pretty much done as far as our part goes, so...
So is the pizza business back up and running now?
Back up. It's good. It's good pizza. I'd try it out. So anyway, we're doing a bit of work on this Justice building behind us, so...
The Justice Building?
Oh yeah, it's downtown. It's like it's a court. They want to call it Justice Building.
Yeah.
I just assume they call it law, just whatever, law courts, law whatever. But no, they want justice. They got to put the.
So I don't know what's your beef with the word justice.
I don't want to offend anybody, but I just find that in a lot of our laws and in the process of laws. There's not a lot of justice in sentences and things like that, right?
Yeah.
As far as I know, the law hasn't particularly changed as far as the Constitution goes, but it seems to meet out the justice seems to change. But anyway, we're doing our best. We're just putting a new face on the building. That's basically what we're doing. We're not demolishing anything.
Yeah. So obviously we were after hours because.
Yeah, it's quiet.
It's quiet.
Yeah, I just, we got a couple of security guards on site. I'm just kind of staying late. Just running stuff through my head. I like to try to get the jobs done as quick as I can, Chris, so then we can move on to something else.
Yeah.
It means money. I don't know if you know how construction companies work, but we bid, right?
Right.
We bid.
Yeah.
And
so you don't want to lowball yourself, but you don't want to bid too much to where they won't take you on.
Right. And,
yeah, you got to hit that sweet spot.
Yeah, and I think what most people in this city want is good work, number one. So they come in with a job, and we say we can do it. We'll do it even better than what they say. Gives us marks. We get the next job. So sometimes the construction crews, we kind of want to stay in line, right? No one's going to lowball too much. No one, obviously you can't highball.
Yeah.
But yeah. So my guys do good work.
I'm a little confused, Nick.
What's the problem?
You cross me as a very masculine, manly, old school man.
Yeah. What's the problem?
The problem is that your pink lunchbox?
Oh, no, that's Benny. That's Benny. Remember Benny?
Benny, the one with the bump sign.
The bump sign, Benny. Yeah.
What's Benny's deal?
Benny's deal is
he a little? Is he?
No. Benny's deal is he's getting too old. They used to be red.
Oh, so it's faded.
Red. That's probably about 25 years old.
Ah, so it's a faded red.
It's which you could accuse of being pink. No, that's not mine.
I thought maybe
this is mine.
Oh, okay.
You want a hot drink?
No. It's actually kind of humid and muggy, So
but if you drink hot drinks, you'll do and cool you down.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard.
Anyway, so yeah, man, I just maybe thought that he was playing for the other team, or maybe he was into Miami Vice and was just thinking that he was cool.
As far as I know, there's nobody playing for the other team.
All right.
There's no Catholics on this site. No, I'm kidding.
Speaking of Catholics.
That's terrible. I'm kidding. I'm Catholic.
Yeah. I know you are. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about. Is this this whole thing that's been in the news recently about the big sex scandal with the Catholic Church in Pennsylvania, where there's a big conglomerate of priests involved and a lot of children being abused and sexually abused, and I mean it's become so common now. It's not even newsworthy anymore because you hear about it so much. I mean, it seems like 2 or 3 times a year you're hearing about some sort of sex scandal in the Catholic Church. So what's your take on that?
Well, like you said, I'm Catholic, right? And I understand that being Catholic, like you're born, right? You take the catechism, you do the deal. We're baptized when we're babies. I got to be honest, I don't attend church much, right? I'm busy anyway. Like in my adult life, I'm busy. I believe in God and everything, don't get me wrong, but I'm not really anchored deep within the Catholic Church. being born into it's one thing. I kind of like to feel that whether it's the Catholic Church or the Baptist guys or the Pentecostals down the road or whatever it is, seems to me they might have the same problems. I'm not sure, but so I'm not that tight, but I do understand the inner workings of the Catholic Church. I think there's more people sincere. I think there's more Catholics that understand that this stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you something. I like to have a few of these guys on the construction site.
Well, how so? Why?
Well, some of them might, you know how you put rebar? You put stuff in your cement to kind of, right? So that makes the building stronger.
Yeah.
Maybe we could put a few of these guys in there, right?
A few of the pedos.
They'd stay with it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's.
So why do you think this is such? And I'm going to use the word epidemic because I think it's become an epidemic problem at this point. I mean, you know,
pretty simple.
maybe, yeah.
You know the answer. You know the answer. We all know the answer. You're a man, I'm a man, I'm married, you're married, right?
Yeah.
We got kids, you know it, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to say this, I don't know if it's going to offend, it doesn't matter if it's going to offend anybody, I think there's reason and logic behind it. A man is a man.
Right.
I raise my son, I tell him, you know, when the hormones start racing, whatever it is, I mean, I don't need to go into a sex education class. But not all these guys were called to celibacy.
Yeah.
It's, you know, and I'm wondering, I got thinking about it a few days ago when this was coming out. If it's not a breeding ground to some extent for some pedophiles, right? Maybe young men, I don't know when it starts, right?
Mm-hmm.
It starts as a teen, a preteen, early, I don't know where that kind of sickness starts.
Well, you know, I mean, I'm sure that there's different answers for that, but one answer is abusers were former victims. That abusers were at one time abused, and
right.
So it's a vicious cycle. So if you were,
cycle. What's that? Like evolution?
So
well, I mean, where did it start, right?
Yeah.
To say that, well, my actions. I mean, look, we went over this, psychologists go over it, but the normal average guy, I think I'm a normal average guy. I'm going. At some point, you got to take ownership.
Yeah.
It seems to me that some of these clowns, right, they get into it knowing that it's like I've got these young men to myself, right? Altar boys, choir boys, right? They're in monasteries, they got them to themselves.
So, I want to be careful how I say this because I don't want to make any offensive or wrong implications. But it seems to me that in some ways, the priesthood in the Catholic Church has a lot in common with the criminals in the criminal justice system, because both are totally absolved of any female presence. You know, there's no men in the, you know, reformatories or penitentiaries. There's no co-ed jails. There's no co-ed prisons. So it's either a women's prison or a men's prison. And a man who gets thrown into prison is still a man, still has manly desires and manly needs, and there's no female outlet. What else is he going to do? So maybe the same problem is occurring with the priest in the Catholic Church, because unless you are called to celibacy, which I think that calling is an extremely rare calling to celibacy.
That's it. It's rare.
Because the Apostle Paul, who is a rabbi, he said that it is better to marry than to burn.
Exactly.
Meaning it's better to marry than to burn with lust. And an interesting thing, me living in New Brunswick. Okay, New York seems to be like Little Italy. It seems to be like...
Hey, get out of that! Get out of it!
Yeah.
Yeah, sir, we're locked up, sir. We're locked up. Go. It's okay. Tomorrow. Sorry.
Yeah, so it's almost like New York is kind of like a little Vatican, a second Vatican. So you have a strong Catholic presence within New York. And so everybody is a real stickler for all the rules, customs, and traditions of Catholicism. But me living in New Brunswick, there's a lot of Catholics in New Brunswick, but they're far, far away from the influence of the Pope and the influence of the Vatican. When he comes on TV, everybody gets excited and watches it. But yet I've talked to Catholics in New Brunswick, and they're not really traditional Catholics. Yeah, they'll go to Mass and they'll do all the Catholic things, But I asked them what they think about the whole priesthood, and they're like, this is stupid. I don't understand why they don't allow their priests to marry. So, I mean, my question is, do you think that Catholicism has caused its own problem by not allowing their priests to marry because it's a natural, God-ordained, given thing to marry, because guys have certain urges and needs that God has instilled with them, and unless you're called to celibacy, you're not getting rid of those urges?
That's a big question. I'll give you an answer. No. I don't believe that at all. I believe the reason why the Catholic Church, if it may be weak and you call it New Brunswick, right? Because Catholicism is all over the planet, right?
Right.
It's heavy here in New York.
Yeah.
It's heavy. I tell people that Catholicism in, say, Rome, or Sicily, or Spain, or Albania, different places, right, in Europe, you make fun, go ahead, make fun of the Pope. Go ahead, do it, right?
Yeah.
You just don't, right? I think they're more traditional, more staunch. In fact, I don't know what the statistics would be, but probably you have less of this patheticness that's going on, like over here in North America and Canada as well. Can't have your head in the sand. It happens more here in North America than it does Europe. I say no. I don't think that the Catholic Association, because of celibacy, has propagated the problem. I think that it's a gift, Chris. Do you have the gift of celibacy? Do you want the gift of celibacy?
I don't have it, and I don't want it.
I don't want that gift. Listen, if I was in prison, if I was back, remember what is it, Count of Monte Cristo? Monte Cristo?
Crisco?
Yeah, right.
He was a greasy guy, wasn't he?
Speaking of lube, eh? Anyway, but if I was given a chance of being in that prison, right? Oh, there's a movie coming out, The Papillon, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it's a true story, but French Foreign Legion, right? That island, right? Here's the deal. If I was given the opportunity to stay in absolute horrid conditions like that for the rest of my life, or I was offered a gift of having my head chopped off, that would be a gift, Chris. Right? That would be a gift. Given the current situation of spending my life and taking something that is going to end my life and be absolutely horrible, it would be a gift. Celibacy is not a gift. I love my wife. I love women in general. It's a marvelous thing, and I love my wife.
Mm-hmm.
And trust me, I don't want any. It's not a gift. And my wife is a gift, because I would have been one of those guys probably that would have burnt. If the Pope or down through history wanted to keep, those who could, because I believe the Apostle Paul said, listen, it's better not to marry.
Yeah.
It's better not to marry. If you want to give your life to God and to service, it's better not to marry. Right? I think that's what he said.
Yeah.
It's far better for a person to give their whole entire life and being to the church. Right? To God. Now, if you're gifted, if that's a gift from God, to not lust after women, or lust after money, or lust after fame, but to keep your mind solely on the things of God, hey, fantastic. I don't believe I have it.
Yeah.
But had the Catholic Church maybe done their due diligence. Now again, I want to be careful on this because I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm a Catholic, but I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to the calling of their people. But if they would have maintained and maybe have a tougher set of standards with people who are coming up and saying, and pray over these guys and really confirm with the fact that they're sold out. And I don't know how you would spot a pedophile or lustful stuff. Obviously, they've spotted it within, what do you have, 300 cases? 300 different priests? I mean, how does that happen?
Yeah.
So there's cover-ups, right? It's coming out, this bishop, that bishop, this cardinal, that cardinal. They're even implementing the Pope and the popes before him. It's a shady history, our leadership there. But look, we could say kind of the same thing about, and be careful, the U.S. government, the Canadian government, governments all over the planet, right? Mm-hmm. A few bad apples in there, So anyway, to answer that question, and without going further, I don't think they meant any harm by it. It's too bad you didn't know the people with the true call. And if
Yeah.
you'd have had people with true calling, and you kept your standards high, and you could figure it out, right? You'd have had a much stronger Catholic Church. Not only in Europe, you'd have it here in North America, and you'd have it in Canada. And then when they find some improper activities, they deal with it. They deal with it harsh, right?
Yeah.
Give you an example. I don't want to keep it, but give you an example. Someone comes to me. Actually, we're unions, so most of our guys have been trained, not locally. They've been trained. So most of the guys that come onto the website, or not the website, the job is stupid. Stupid. I need a drink. No, I'll try and get it later. But anyway, they come onto the job site. They got the tickets, right? They got the confined space. They got this safe. They got a forklift. They got things. So I know they've been, they've had their orientation.
Yeah.
If they don't produce those cards, they don't work here. I don't care. You can show me a union card, but you got to show me that
You're certified and
that you've been certified.
WIMIS and certified to drive a forklift or run a backhoe or
right.
Yeah.
And we trust guys who work on the site, because you got to depend on the guy next to you. We got to trust that when they carry those cards, that those trainers are those people. Because we have rigid standards. We're not going to have just any clown come on the site. Even I don't care if you're sweeping the brooms out on the sidewalk.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, not just to pick on the Catholics, but this problem is also found its way into Protestant Christianity.
Sure.
There's a lot of famous TV preachers who have solicited prostitutes and have had scandals of having extramarital affairs. There's also been sexual abuse of young people within the Protestant church. And in a lot of these cases in the Protestant church, it's usually been a minister or a preacher counseling somebody of the opposite sex by themselves.
Right.
And right there is trouble just waiting to happen, because even if nothing happens, the person can walk away and said, oh, he touched me, or he made a pass at me, and then it's a he said, she said, even if the guy's totally innocent and nothing ever happened. And in Judaism, we have very strict standards in Judaism to where you are not alone in the same room with someone of the opposite sex unless it's your wife or a close relative like your mother or your sister or your grandmother or something like that.
Right.
So, to protect in Protestant Christianity, a lot of these ministers have taken the approach that if they're going to counsel somebody of the opposite sex, that their wife is in that room with them while the counseling's going on.
There's guys I know that have glass windows. I know a pastor friend of mine. He's a Baptist guy, and he took over a church, and one of the first things he did was the office door that existed at the time. I know I did the work. It was closed, like it was a solid door. So he calls me up and said, "Listen, can you?" He puts glass, right? Yeah. Either put a new door or cut it open with glass, so that his secretary, right, anybody who walks by can see. He wouldn't dare do anything. He's got glass, no curtains, right?
Right.
And he will refuse to counsel a woman, definitely a young person. There needs to be a parent, but he's very careful, like you said.
Yeah.
So
and I think that's a key there, because these priests have had time alone with these altar boys and with other young people and children, and no accountability and no protection of somebody watching their back to make sure nothing happens. But yet it's sad that it's come to this. And even if the pastor is counseling somebody of the same sex, there's a lot of people coming out, as homosexual or gay or whatever. So even it's dangerous for a male minister to minister to another man. So in that case, a deacon or a trustee or somebody else, the Torah says, with 2 or 3 witnesses, let everything be established. So there's no he said, she said. So as long as there's at least 1 or 2 witnesses along with the pastor there, that's insurance. It keeps everybody's nose clean. There's no scandals that can go on. And if it's somebody of the opposite sex, you're going to have another woman from the church there, and also the pastor's wife, or there's just not going to be any counseling at all.
Yeah, listen, I don't know where, I call it sickness, okay? They've yet to do a poll. There's statistics out there. I heard this guy I saw him on a website one time being interviewed. Like a redneck guy talking about homosexuality or something. I'm just curious, flipping through it.
Oh,
And,
yeah, that's my buddy. Samuel
a Pickle guy.
Pickle, yeah, we call him Pickle. Yeah, Dilbert Samuel Crossman.
Yeah,
we call him Pickle. Yeah, he's my buddy.
Yeah, well, I heard, I just going through stuff anyway. He's giving like statistics. I don't get it. It's sickness.
Yeah.
He seemed to be kind of nice about it, but I think it's a sickness. I don't care. If you got any man, and I don't care, you can take it from even 16 years old, 16, 18, 20, 30. I got a big problem like with these guys touching kids. Like I think pedophile is an absolute, it's a sin.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sin, but it's a taboo. Like it's destructive.
Well, it's such a taboo that if you are in prison as a pedophile, you're basically going to get killed, shanked, or they're going to do to you what the pedo did to other people.
It's hard for me to believe that there isn't males out there, young males, older males, that get into and this is coming from Catholics.
Mm-hmm.
You're a Jew, right? You're not going to become a Catholic priest.
Right.
If you want to become a Catholic priest, you've got a long way to go, buddy. Right?
Right.
They're going to talk to you. They need to bend you. They need to deprogram you and then program you right in the Catholic way, right?
Yeah.
So that's not even that's not you.
Right.
Same as a Catholic priest wanting to become a rabbi. There's going to be a lot of work, right?
Yeah.
Same as a Baptist guy or whoever. So this is coming from Catholicism. This is coming from the Catholic realm. So yeah, it may be happening in the Protestant area. Maybe I'm sure it happens in Judaism, wherever man is. Buddhism, I don't care who it is. But I'm telling you that when a male can become a predator to a young child, I'm
defenseless, innocent.
I'm getting goosebumps here. Like, I don't care about. I shouldn't say I don't care. I do care. I'm not going to tell you why I care. People coming out here, coming out there, coming out. I'm bi, I'm this, I'm that, for animals. I'm coming in. I'm coming in today from work and I'm listening. And in Toronto, right up in Canada, they are opening up a sex doll. House of ill repute, like what do you?
Whorehouse?
Well, I guess I was going to say it. I didn't know you said it. Yeah, a place of prostitution. I think they've got, I think the number was 8 or 10 dolls. I kid you not. I can't remember the name right now. But they're trying to get it cleared with the city, and they're trying to say that it's needful. Sex dolls. Now, the thing that went through my mind is how do you clean them up?
Yeah, I don't even let it go there.
But I'm just saying, that's sick.
Yeah.
It's a sickness. Listen, if a guy wants to do whatever he wants behind the four walls of his house without committing a federal or state or municipal crime, have at it, right?
Yeah.
A doll, whatever it is you think, have at it, as long as it's legal, right? If that's your thing. But we've come to a place in society where you're actually going to open a business where you have sex dolls. And for some reason, we're living in a society they're trying to justify it. So I go back again. Listen, you got people coming out and doing it. We didn't have that 30, 40 years ago. I don't care. And little kids are growing up in that saying it's all right to do whatever I want. Like I could be really nasty here. But let's pinpoint that again. If you've got a priest that takes advantage of one of these young people, and somebody finds out, and then to find out that it's covered up from up here, like I'm not going to change my Catholic heritage. I believe in God, and I believe that Catholics are going to go to heaven. Now maybe get it worked out with the big guy sometime. I have faith in God, but I'm getting pretty sick and tired of what I'm hearing.
Well, you got several things going on here. You've got, number one, we are fallen creatures. We have fallen from created perfection. We have fallen from a perfect unionized relationship with God because of our willful sin and our willful rebellion in the garden. Sin is like any inherited disease. It's passed down. You inherited your eye color from, your father or what have you, or whatever. We've inherited sin through Adam because, the first mother and father, Adam and Eve, they fell. So we have a fallen nature which is bent towards sin. That's number one. Second of all, If you believe in God, God is a spirit. You believe in God. You believe that there's other spirits. God created the angelic race, and some of that angelic race has fallen, and they are there to tempt and influence mankind. So you have people who are actually possessed by these fallen entities, these fallen heavenly beings, whether you want to call them angels or watchers or whatever you want to call them, spirits. They're fallen, and so they are depraved, and they have a fallen nature. Their fallen nature combined with your fallen nature,
I get it.
that's pretty bad.
I get it.
So you have several things that we have, just normal people have a problem staying away from temptation and wrongdoing, and when somebody is possessed or influenced by an evil spirit on top of that, it makes it so much more depraved and so much more worse.
I hear you, brother. I hear what you're saying. I get it. I kind of, I can kind of get where it comes from. It's absolutely whatever it is. Devilish, right?
I can't even say it. Demonic.
I don't know. I've had a long day. Demonic. I understand that. In order to give yourself to that kind of sin. Am I correct in this? I heard this someplace in the Old Testament. Can't remember it because it's one of the few passages. It's talking about stuff that God hates.
That's an abomination?
Yeah. Yeah, it mentions abomination about a man with a man or a woman with a woman stuff. Or an animal.
Yeah, a beast.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a different level.
Yeah, the word in Hebrew is to'evah, which means abomination. It's more than just hate. It's more than just despise. It's the deepest, despicable, loathing, abomination.
Yeah.
It's abominable.
Yeah.
It's
now,
not.
You could make like an abominable sandwich here, right? You could say that's what the Old Testament says. And I think of is it in the book of Romans, ain't it? Remember Paul says something about he's going to turn people over. Things are going to get so stinking miserable.
In the last days it'll turn them over to a depraved mind.
That's pretty sick, right? Now, I want to ask you, Mr. Rabbi, if he turns them over, are they redeemable again? Who knows? I don't want to be there, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in that position.
I wouldn't want to be in that position. So you got people don't even know what's right. They can't even think straight.
Yeah.
Religious people say,
good is evil, evil is good,
right.
Up is down, left is right.
So you got these priests, you got these guys doing something abominable, demonic stuff happening. God possibly, I don't know, I'm not going to say that he's God. They turn him over to reprobate mind, put those together. There's no fear anymore because, oh no, I got to go through a psychological examination. This priest, this guy with the gift of celibacy, right? Yeah. Gives his life to God and the church and has to care of these young people and does something so despicable that will affect each one of these young people for life. They've committed suicide. There are people that have done that.
And the worst thing about it is, on top of these children being being sexually abused and messing up their minds and their psyches for a lifetime, you have also caused a whole society and a whole generation to say, if that's what Christianity is about, if that's what Jesus is about, if that's what God's about, I don't want anything to do with that.
And
so it gives,
that's the point.
It gives God a bad name. It gives the Bible a bad name. It gives true believers, true Christians, true people who haven't done those things,
right.
People that are right with God. It gives everybody a black eye and a bad name.
Yeah, I know you and I talked before you set up the camera that maybe we'd go this direction, but man, it's nasty stuff. And I'm Catholic. I don't want to say I'm Catholic up to too many places that people want to drag me in the back alleys, right? Like, I wish that our hierarchy from the Pope down would do something.
It's so serious, they're even calling for the Pope to step down.
Yeah.
Has that ever occurred in Catholic history to say we want the Pope to step down?
Oh, yeah. Listen, you want to watch something, I'm trying to think, I think I don't know if it's on Netflix, I don't even know if the series is still going. It's called The Borgia. The Borgia.
I've heard of it, yeah.
It's pretty nasty. You want to get in on the internet? Like, I watch it and I go, I can't believe it. That didn't happen there. But I know it probably happens like in places like Washington and where there's higher ups, It's like they don't know what to do with their power or their money. That's stuff.
Well, they think they're untouchable.
They
think they're above the law.
I guess so, but you watch it. I mean, they poisoned popes before. They've killed them in different ways. Oh yeah, they forced them out.
Absolute power corrupts
That's
absolutely.
absolute power. But they need to do something. This is a crisis. And when I think they give the number 300. 300 priests who've been involved in it. Oh my God! How many of the children? Huh? How many of these children? Oh, anyway, that's.
Well, I think we're going to wrap it up here. I think we've given the viewers a lot to chew on and a lot to think about.
I thought we were supposed to make them laugh.
Yeah, well, sometimes we deal with serious stuff. I've got a friend, Bobby Richards. I don't know if he's related to Keith Richards or not. He's some Brit. But man, he gets pretty heated on some topics, and there's no fun stuff there. He just puts it out like it is. But anyway, so sometimes we've got to do some serious stuff.
Well, listen, don't blame your Catholic neighbors. You know, it's stuff like you said about the devil. You want to open the door to the devil, you go ahead, he'll come right in.
What you said, it's a choice.
It's a choice.
It's a choice. You can't say the devil made me do it. You had to open a door to that possibility, to that feeling, to that desire. You had to open a door to it for it to happen. You had to invite it in. You had to give it permission. You know, so, you know, people say, well, I can't help it. This is the way I am. No, no, no. You weren't created that way. You may be a fallen creature, but you're not created that way.
Yes.
And it's a choice.
I know some fantastic Catholic people. People love God, sincere, I mean, full of the Spirit of God. And this is sad. This is not sad. I'm not sad for the Catholic Church. I'm just sad that there probably won't be a whole lot done. Even if these guys are taken to the secular courts, they're going to go to psychiatrists and psychologists. And I'd handle it a lot different if I was if I had the power to do it.
You would handle it a New York way.
A New York way, yeah. You get it nice and thick, yeah.
All right, well, Nick, man, I'm glad we got to meet. Sorry it wasn't under better circumstances or, you know,
yeah,
hearty har kind of stuff, but maybe next time we'll cut it up a little bit more.
We'll do the hearty hard time next time, eh?
Yeah. All right.
You smell that?
Yeah, something stinks.
I'm just wondering, Benny's, I don't know what he's got in there, but I'll check it anyway.
Oh, all right. Well, we'll catch you later, man.
Maybe it was the subject matter. Maybe it was the subject matter that smells.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks again. Catch you later.
Okay, bud.
Shalom.
Oh, I just stepped in something. That's what it was on the bottom of the stool. Oh, man. Gotta get this. Can't forget that. Man, what you got in there, Benny? There's some kind of stinking sandwich like it. Stupid. Oh, for the love of Pete!
What is it?
Oh, never
I heard
mind.
you screaming. Are you all right?
Oh, check that out.